the mode. The first type of problem that you get from mode is, which you have already done in class 9. That is, you're given
Sir,
certain
I can't see
observations.
the screen.
Who is it? Who cannot see?
Sir, me, Apurva.
Apurva. Oh, you come again once again. Okay, you log in once again. Otherwise, if it doesn't happen, then you restart your phone, then come, then join the meeting.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So first type of example we have already done in class 9, and that is that if a series of observations is given to you. Okay, some numbers are given to you. How to find out the mode of numbers? So let's see this. This is just a revision. Example one is, find the mode from the following data. Find the mode from the following data. And what is the data given here? The numbers that are given to you are 3, 5, 1, 2, 4, 6, 0, 2, 2, 3. Now what you see is that you see that 3 occurs twice, right? 3 occurs here. So let's write the given observations are 3, 5, 1, 2, 4, 6, 0, 2, 2, and 3. These are the given observations. Now what you see is that 3 occurs thrice, here, twice, here and here, only twice. 5 occurs only once, right? 1 occurs only once. 2 occurs thrice, here, here, and here. 4 occurs only once. 6 occurs only once, right? 0 occurs only once. So which one occurs the most? You see that 2 occurs thrice. 2 occurs the most, thrice. Therefore, we say, since 2 has occurs with a frequency 3, with the highest frequency. 2 occurs with the highest frequency 3, right? Because 2 occurs 3 times. Hence mode is equal to 2. That's it. You have already done this in class 9, I think. No, you have not done this. Class 9, you have not done this. Sorry. You have done mean and median. Mode you haven't done. But mode is very easy. Example 2. And this is the most easiest that I'm going to discuss here. The question is, find the mode for the following frequency distribution. And the frequency distribution given here is marks obtained and number of students. Marks obtained out of 10 and number of students. and the marks obtained are given to you as this is the distribution that is given to you. What kind of a distribution is this? This is an ungrouped frequency distribution, right? Because you don't see class intervals, so this becomes an ungrouped frequency distribution. Now mode is very easy to locate in this. You see that this is your frequency, right? This is your frequency, right? Now in order to find out the mode, what you do is you locate the one with the highest frequency. Which is the highest frequency here? You see 21 is the highest frequency, right? So therefore mode must be equal to 6. That's it. Since 6 occurs with the highest frequency 21, therefore mode is equal to 6. That's it. In fact, the problem is longer than the solution. Now we shall come to the case where we have to find out the mode from a frequency distribution. Let us take an example how to find out the mode from a frequency distribution. Let's take this for the following frequency distribution. For the following frequency distribution, draw a histogram and hence calculate the mode. Draw a histogram, hence calculate the mode, and this is the distribution that is given to you. You have class, frequency, and the classes are these are class boundaries given. Again, remember in mode, if class limits are given, you will convert them to class boundaries. In median and mode, you cannot work with class limits. In mean, you can, but in median and mode, you cannot work with class limits. Okay, so this is your frequency distribution that is given. Now, first of all, in class 8, class 9, throughout, I have been teaching you how to draw histograms, and I have been telling you that histogram is important. Okay, so here again, I don't need to tell you how to draw an histogram. Okay, so we'll draw an histogram from this data. So let's see how to draw a histogram from here. Let us take a graph paper, 2 mm graph paper. Okay. So this is, if you see, you have to decide the scale first. You take the x and the y axis and then decide the scale first. Let's take the x and the y axis. This is my y axis. I'll take the x axis here. So this becomes my origin. Okay, and this is your class. So we'll write class here. And for this, sorry, this is your frequency. Y axis is for frequency, not class. This is for your frequency. This is for your class. X, Y. Now we shall decide the scale. If you look at the classes are 0 to 5, 5 to 10, and it runs from 25 to 30. Okay. So what you are going to do here is, if you take 10 divisions as 5, can you run till 30? Let's see. If I take 10 divisions here, so this is 5, 10. Oh, some mistake here. 15 divisions. So this is your 10. This is 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so you can accommodate from 0 to 30 in the x-axis if you take 10 divisions. So you'll write the scale along x-axis. One smallest division is equal to, if you see how many divisions you have taken 10 divisions as 5 units. That means one division is 0.5. 0.5 units. Okay. Now we decide the scale along the y-axis. Now you see the y-axis, the readings are very small. 2, 8. The minimum is 2 and the highest is 18. So what kind of a scale should you take which runs from 2 to 18? You can take uh, 5 divisions as 1 unit, right? This way you can do. Or more accurately, if you want, you can accommodate in the, if you want to use the entire graph paper, which we should normally use the entire graph paper. You can take 10 divisions as 2 units. That means this becomes your 2. This becomes 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and you can write 20 also, no problem. Although we'll require only till 18. Okay. So we'll write the scale now along y-axis. One smallest division. Now we have taken 10 divisions as 2 units. So one division is 2 by 10. 2 by 10 is 1/5. That means 0.2 units. Isn't it? If you see, I have taken 10 divisions is equal to 2 units along y-axis. That means one division is 2 by 10 units, which is 1 by 5 units, which is 0.2 unit. So along y-axis, one smallest division is 0.2. Now we shall draw the histogram. 0 to 5 you have 2. So what you do here is you draw the rectangle. 0 to 5 You draw your rectangle here. This should be a 0 to 5. This rectangle here. The next one is 5 to 10, frequency is 7. 5 to 10, frequency 7. Here it is. Okay, so this is here another rectangle. The first rectangle is a little crooked. And 10 to 15 is 18. Just stretch this line till 18. Okay, this is the rectangle. 15 to 20 is 10. So 15 to 20, this is my 10. So I'll draw a rectangle from here. Okay, next one, 20 to 25 is 8. 8 is here. 20 to 25 is 8. 25 to 30 is 5. 5 is here. Just 5 divisions above 2. Oh, sorry, this is not 5. 5 is here. 5 divisions above 4. Fine. So this is the histogram that we are getting. Okay. Now the question is how to locate the mode. Remember, in order to locate the mode, first of all, recognize or identify the highest tower that you can see in the histogram, or the highest rectangle that you can see in the histogram. The highest tower or highest rectangle in this histogram is this one, right? Now what you do is you take the two corners of this histogram. You take these two corners. Now from one corner, from the left corner, you join the right corner of this rectangle. Okay. And from the right corner of this highest rectangle, you join the right corner of this rectangle. These two lines you draw. You get a point of intersection here of these two lines. This is the point of intersection. From this point of intersection, you draw a perpendicular on the x-axis. This is the perpendicular on the x-axis. Okay. Now once you draw, now you try to find out this point here. This point will give you your mode. So mode is equal to, let's see what point this is. If you see, this point is approximately 5 divisions from 10, and each division along the x-axis is how much? 0.5 units. So that means if 10 divisions are here, so mode must be equal to 10 plus, and how many divisions? 5 divisions. 5 divisions are there after your 10. So you'll write 5. And how much is one division worth? The worth of one division along the x-axis is 0.5 units. So this is 10 plus 0.25. So your mode is 10.25. Clear with this? Or any questions? No question?
Sir, can you explain this one once more? This
The
equation.
This one, see, how to find out the mode, right? You've understood the point of intersection and this perpendicular.
Yes, sir.
So if you see how many divisions from here to here, how many divisions are there? First, you have 10 divisions here, isn't it? First, you have 10 units, not divisions. You have 10 units here, isn't it? And how many divisions here?
5.
You have five divisions here. So whatever is the mode will be 10, because this distance here is 10, plus these 5 divisions that you see. So that is why the 5. And what is, how much is each division? Each division here is 0.5.
5.
So therefore this 5 division means 5 into 0.5, right? Because each one division is 0.5. So therefore the mode is 10 plus 5 into 0.5, which is 10.25. Clear with this? Now what
Yes,
will
sir.
happen is that in your histograms, your answers might vary a little. Your answers might vary a little. That is, say, zero point 0.5 units here and there. That will depend on the scale that you have taken, how you have drawn the lines, whether your lines are straight or not. Okay. Now, normally when you are doing histograms or any graph for that matter, whether even if you are doing ogive, try to utilize the entire graph paper. Because if you utilize the entire graph paper, you will get a very accurate answer. If suppose the graph paper is full length and you are using only half the graph paper, although you may be drawing your ogive or histogram properly with no errors, yet you might not get a very accurate answer. So in order to get an accurate answer, try to utilize the entire graph paper. See, I could have taken the scale here as 1, 2, isn't it? I could have taken a smaller scale, but I have taken a bigger scale here so that I can utilize the entire graph paper. So that is why uh, when you are using your graph paper, try to utilize the entire graph paper. Your answers might vary by zero point 0.5, and if it varies more, then your answer is wrong. Okay, and this is what how you find out the mode, and other types of histograms you know already how to make. So I'll conclude this chapter here on histograms. Okay, and I'll continue tomorrow then.